you're a man over 60 and you've been noticing some changes down there, maybe things aren't quite as firm as they used to be. Maybe the sensations faded a little. Or maybe there's just this quiet, nagging feeling that your body's not keeping up with you anymore. I want you to hear me right now. You are not broken. You are not alone. And this is way more common than anyone talks about. I see it every single day in my practice. Good men, strong men, sitting across from me looking defeated because something shifted and they don't know why or what to do about it. But what if I told you there's a remedy that's been around for thousands of years, something your grandmother probably had in her medicine cabinet, that modern science is finally catching up to? Something that can help restore blood flow, loosen up stiff tissue, and bring back the kind of confidence you thought was behind you for good. And here's the thing, it's not a pill. It's not some expensive procedure. It's a simple golden oil that most people completely overlook. And the most important step, the one that makes all the difference, is something most guys have never even heard of. I'll get to that, but stick with me because you don't want to miss it. Hello, I'm Dr. Chloe Bennett. I've been working with men's health for over 25 years, and in that time I've learned something that they don't teach you in medical school. The physical changes that come with aging, those are honestly the easy part. What really gets to men is the silent stuff, the shift that happens on the inside, that creeping feeling of disconnect, the slow erosion of confidence that nobody talks about at the barbershop or over beers with the guys. You might not even have the words for it, but I've sat across from hundreds of men who've tried to explain it. One guy, a retired firefighter out of Boston, looked down at his hands and told me, "Doc, I just feel like I'm fading." He wasn't talking about desire. The wanting was still there. He was talking about his body quietly retreating on him. And look, I get it. After 60, your arteries start losing flexibility. The tiny blood vessels that feed your most sensitive areas begin to narrow. Nitric oxide, which is the molecule responsible for keeping those vessels relaxed and open, it starts to decline. These are real biological changes that quietly reduce blood flow to your private areas. And the result? Weaker responses, slower reaction times, or sometimes nothing at all. But it goes deeper than that. It hits your sense of vitality, your identity as a man. It's a loss that cuts way past performance, and honestly, it's a loss you deserve to get back. Now, I believe in using the best of both worlds, real science and natural methods working together. And today, I want to put something on your radar that has genuinely changed the game for a lot of my patients. An ancient, completely overlooked oil that's been quietly helping men get their vitality back. And before you roll your eyes, let me be straight with you. I'm not talking about some overpriced supplement or magic bullet. I'm talking about something that costs less than your morning coffee at Dunkin'. I'm talking about castor oil. Yeah, castor oil. You've probably heard of it for hair growth or dry skin. But what most people don't know, and what the research is starting to show, is that this thick golden oil is incredibly rich in something called ricinoleic acid. This isn't just any fatty acid. Studies published in journals like the International Journal of Molecular Sciences have looked at ricinoleic acid's ability to stimulate local blood flow, reduce inflammation at the cellular level, and soften hardened, fibrous tissue. We're talking about one simple, natural substance that can address multiple layers of what's happening beneath the surface. It's not magic. It's not a miracle. It's your biology responding to the right kind of care. And when used correctly, it has the ability to improve blood flow, dissolve hidden tissue stiffness, calm deep inflammation, restore nerve sensation, and protect aging skin, all at the same time. Now, I know a lot of you have been asking, "Okay, doc, but how exactly do I use it? Where do I put it? Can I take it by mouth?" I hear you, and I promise I'm going to walk you through every single step before this video's over. But first, let me break down what's actually happening in your body and why this works. Let's start with the first and most immediate benefit you're likely going to notice: boosting blood flow. I had a patient, Frank. He was 68, retired mechanic from outside of Philly. He sat in my office and told me straight up, "Doc, it's like the pipes are rusting out." He said the desire was there, his mind was willing, but his body just couldn't deliver anymore. And look, Frank's not unique. This is happening to millions of men and nobody's talking about it. After 60, your blood vessels lose their stretch. They get stiff, they narrow. That nitric oxide I mentioned, it keeps dropping. And it's this quiet, gradual process that chokes off circulation to the areas that need it most. But here's where castor oil steps in. When you gently massage it into the skin, especially with a little warmth, that ricinoleic acid penetrates deep. It reaches those tiny blood vessels that have gone sluggish and helps coax them back open. A lot of my patients tell me they feel a warm, tingling sensation within just a few minutes. That's your body saying, hey, we're waking back up down here. Over time, this improved circulation can help restore more natural, spontaneous responses. It can bring back sensation. And more than anything, it can return that vital sense of aliveness that every man deserves to feel, no matter what age is on his driver's license. Now let's go deeper. Benefit number 2, dissolving tissue stiffness. This one catches a lot of guys off guard because most men over 60 are dealing with something they don't even know they have. A silent buildup that can cause bending, a feeling of tightness, or even make things feel like they've gotten shorter. I had a patient named Ray. He was 72, retired high school football coach from down in Georgia. He came to me frustrated and a little embarrassed. Something's just off, he told me. It feels tight and it started to curve. It wasn't like this before. What Ray didn't know was that years of minor microtrauma, old inflammation, even just normal wear and tear, had led to an accumulation of excess collagen, basically internal scarring called plaque. And this isn't something on the surface. It's deep tissue. It creates a pulling sensation and can make intimacy genuinely uncomfortable. Now, castor oil has a long, well-documented history of addressing fibrous tissue. Ricinoleic acid penetrates deep into those underlying layers, and when you massage it regularly over the affected area, it helps soften that hardened collagen. It supports your body's own natural ability to gradually break down that stiffness over time. For Ray, after about 4 weeks of consistent use, the tightness started easing up. He came back with this quiet grin and said, "It's straighter, more comfortable. I feel like I'm getting some control back." That feeling of regaining something you thought was permanently gone? That's powerful stuff. Benefit 3, and this one's a big deal, reducing hidden inflammation. There's a quiet factor that impacts every aspect of men's health down there, something that starts small but can spread through the entire pelvic region if you let it go. Low-grade chronic inflammation. I had a patient, Marcus, 65 software engineer from out in Seattle. He described it as this subtle burning, a constant low-level tightness he couldn't quite put his finger on. He said, "It just feels like my body's pulling back, like everything's getting smaller, stiffer, and less responsive." Here's the deal. Inflammation is your body's natural response to stress and damage. But when it becomes chronic, especially in the delicate structures of your private area, it turns against you. It chokes blood flow, limits flexibility, and speeds up tissue breakdown. And a lot of men live with this quiet inflammation for years without ever connecting the dots. Castor oil is a remarkably effective anti-inflammatory. Research has shown its ability to reduce swelling and cellular stress in deep tissues. When applied externally and absorbed through the skin, it doesn't just sit on the surface. It penetrates deep, calming inflamed tissue and supporting your body's repair process. When inflammation comes down, healing can finally get started. And when healing gets started, your body moves back toward its natural, healthy baseline. Benefit 4, and this might be the one that hits closest to home for a lot of you, restoring nerve sensation. See, healing isn't just about tissue, it's about feeling. And for a lot of older men, the one thing they miss the most isn't firmness or shape. It's that deep personal connection, the pleasure, the sensation, the intimacy. One of my patients, Thomas, 70 years old, a retired teacher from right here in the Midwest, sat in my office with tears in his eyes and said, "I can still function, doc, but I don't feel it the way I used to. It's like my body's going through the motions, but something's missing. I miss feeling something." As men age, the tiny nerve endings responsible for pleasure start to dull. Reduced circulation, chronic inflammation, hormonal shifts, all of it takes a toll on those delicate nerve networks. And when those nerves stop firing the way they used to, men describe the experience as numb, disconnected, or sometimes even emotionally flat. But there's hope here. One of the lesser-known properties of ricinoleic acid is its ability to support nerve repair and regeneration. It's been studied in the context of compressed and irritated nerves. When you apply castor oil regularly, the warmth, the circulation boost, the reduction in inflammation, all of it creates the ideal environment for nerves to start waking back up. For Thomas, the change was subtle at first, but about 5 weeks in, he came back and said, "I can feel again. It's coming back, and I feel more like myself than I have in years." That's not just a physical win, that's emotional, because this part of your body is tied directly to your sense of identity, connection, and joy. Benefit 5, protecting aging skin. Now, even if blood flow improves and nerves come alive, none of it matters if the skin itself is weak, dry, or compromised. I had a patient, Ed, 73, retired postal worker from the south side of Chicago. He told me, "Doc, the skin down there feels thinner, drier. Sometimes it cracks if I'm not careful." And he wasn't exaggerating. As hormone levels drop and your skin naturally loses collagen and moisture with age, it becomes more fragile. Dryness, itching, flaking, those aren't just annoyances. They lead to tiny micro tears that cause real discomfort, and they can make intimacy painful. For a lot of older men, this hidden issue is the reason they start avoiding touch altogether. They lose confidence, because when the skin doesn't feel strong or responsive, it sends a quiet signal to your brain that something is aging faster than it should. Castor oil is an incredibly nourishing oil. It's thick, rich, and deeply hydrating. Unlike most lotions that sit on the surface, castor oil penetrates deep into the skin, locking in moisture and protecting the barrier around your most sensitive nerves and blood vessels. Think of it as armor for your skin, but without the weight, just a smooth, natural layer of protection. For Ed, the change was straightforward. He started applying it a few nights a week, and after about 3 weeks, he told me, "It feels stronger, more resilient. I'm not worried about it cracking anymore." When the skin is healthy, the whole system works better. Nerves stay protected, blood vessels stay flexible, and most of all, confidence comes back. All right, now here's the part I know a lot of you have been waiting for, and I've seen it in the comments on my other videos. How exactly do I use it? Where do I apply it? Can I take it by mouth? Let me walk you through everything step by step so there's no confusion. When I first recommended this to a patient named Walt, he was 69, retired trucker from Oklahoma. He looked at me sideways and said, "You want me to put what? Where?" I laughed, walked him through it, and he gave it a shot. 3 weeks later, he came back grinning and said, "Doc, I actually look forward to it now. It's become my thing." Here's exactly how I guide my patients. Step 1, always use 100% pure, cold-pressed, hexane-free castor oil. You can find it at any health food store, Whole Foods, or even on Amazon. Look for organic if you can. No fragrances, no additives, nothing refined. Step 2, warm the oil slightly. You can rub it between your palms for about 30 seconds or set the bottle in a mug of warm water for a couple minutes. You don't want it hot, just comfortably warm. Step 3, gently massage it into the shaft, the base, and the surrounding area for about 3 to 5 minutes. Use slow circular motions. This isn't about pressure, it's about presence. You're giving your body what it needs to heal. And here's step 4, the one crucial step that most people skip, and it makes all the difference. After you massage the oil in, apply a warm compress. Take a warm, damp towel or use a low-heat heating pad and place it over the area for 15 to 20 minutes. This is a game changer. The gentle heat helps the oil absorb much deeper into the tissue and supercharges the blood flow response. It's the difference between the oil sitting on the surface and it actually penetrating into the layers where the real healing needs to happen. Now, for those of you asking about taking castor oil internally, let me be upfront. I don't generally recommend ingesting castor oil without talking to your doctor first. It's a powerful laxative, and the dosing needs to be right. For the purposes of what we're talking about today, topical application with a warm compress is where the real benefits are for men's health. If you're interested in internal use for other health reasons, that's absolutely a conversation to have with your own physician. And here's the key: stay consistent. 3 to 4 nights a week is enough to start noticing real, subtle changes within a few weeks. You're not going to wake up tomorrow a different man, but over time, layer by layer, your body starts responding. Walt stayed with it. Over the following months, he saw improvements in firmness, sensation, and something else he didn't expect. He said, "It's become a ritual, Doc. I feel more connected to myself, like I'm taking charge of something I thought was out of my hands." That's the real win right there. I've been working with men for over 25 years now, and if there's one truth I've learned in all that time, it's this. What most men really want isn't just performance. It's connection. It's confidence. It's feeling like themselves again. Feeling strong, capable, and alive. And when something shifts in that part of your body, it can shake your whole identity in ways you don't even talk about with your closest friends. That's why I care so much about sharing tools like this. Natural, affordable, and way too often overlooked. Because sometimes healing isn't about prescriptions or procedures. Sometimes it's about slowing down, listening to your body, and giving it exactly what it needs to come back to life. So, if you're a man over 60 who's been feeling the changes, less firmness, fading sensation, tightness, or even just an emotional distance from your own body, please hear me. You are not broken. You are not past your time. And there are absolutely things you can do about it. Castor oil isn't magic, but backed by science and used with patience, it can help restore blood flow, soften hidden tissue stiffness, reduce chronic inflammation, revive nerve sensation, and protect aging skin. And when you use it the right way, with consistency and that warm compress step, it becomes more than just a remedy. It becomes a quiet ritual of reclaiming your strength. I've seen it work in real lives. I've watched men walk into my office discouraged and walk out weeks later with hope in their eyes. And I've seen how something as simple as 5 minutes of self-care, done regularly, can restore not just physical function, but self-respect, dignity, and real connection with the people they love. So wherever you are on this journey, know that it's not too late. Your body still listens, your system still responds, and you still deserve to feel good, whole, and fully alive. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this video helped you, take a second to hit that like button and share it with a friend who might need to hear this. You'd be surprised how many men are dealing with this in silence. Subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss my upcoming videos, because I'm putting together a whole series answering your questions directly. And speaking of questions, I want to hear from you. What changes have you noticed? What questions have you been holding on to? Drop a comment below. I read every single one personally, and your question might be the exact thing another man out there needs to hear. This isn't just about health. It's about reclaiming your strength, and you're already part of that movement just by being here. Thank you.